Hey, shalom, shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. It was in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is from BusinessInsider.com. I skimmed over the article, and basically they're talking about ICBM nuclear weapons, and these are acts of war, okay, with the West and with the Eastern Bloc, because it says here America's top nuclear commander told lawmakers Tuesday that he will push to put U.S. nuclear capable bombers on alert if military loss is intercontinental ballistic missiles. World War III, baby. There we go. They're already talking. Let's get it on, because you have to understand with these nuclear nations, man, that they're fighting back against Babylon the Great, because Babylon the Great was known as that big hammer or that big bully on the planet that was able to dictate his weight and throw his weight around, because they had an advanced military. Okay, they had a overly extended military. They had weaponry pretty much beyond any other military that was on the earth at that time. But now that these nuclear powers are engaging, Esau Edom is pretty much, he's like, look, man, you come over here, we're going to shoot nukes. And that's the mentality of all these nations that got nukes, from North Korea to Iran. I don't know if they got theirs yet, but I believe they have the enrichment or the uranium for it, or the what do you call it, the elements for it. China, we know, has them. Japan has them. Russia definitely got them. So these are nuclear back powers, so to speak. So it says that some lawmakers question the need to invest in nuclear modernization. It says programs like the ground-based strategic deterrent, a replacement for the aging Minuteman III ICBM force. The head of U.S. Strategic Command is arguing in favor of moving forward with the modernization plans and against cutting the ICBM force. Okay, so they're trying to come up with different weaponry. Okay, and the fact that you're enhancing on these nukes, that's Bible prophecy, because the scriptures tell you of a third world war, aka the War of Armageddon. All right, so it says, reading again, it says a replacement for the aging Minuteman III ICBM force. The head of the U.S. Strategic Command and arguing in its favor of moving forward with the modernization plans and cutting against the ICBM force, meaning that they're going to come up with advanced weaponry beyond the missile or beyond the ICBM. But it says Stratacom Commander Minister Charles Richard has argued previously that a failure to modernize and replace what the U.S. has now is essentially disarmament in the force of a growing threat. So he felt like it's a step back. But a lot of your defense systems are outdated, man. And at the end of the day, it's all up to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Because Esau got in his mindset that he's going to overcome the Most High, and he's going to overcome these nations to set up the NWO, which is going to fail. It says Russia has its own nuclear triad, and China is developing a functional triad. But speaking before the Senate Armed Services Committee on Tuesday, Richard said if the ICBM leg of the U.S. nuclear triad were to be abandoned, then the bomber force will have to take its place as an already ready nuclear deterrent. But what is not often recognized is what we don't have a triad day to day, Richard said. It says the bombers are not available to us, but we chose to take them off alert as a type of peace dividend after the Cold War day to day. But what you have is basically a diet. Okay. So, hey, man, this look like this is getting ready to crack down, all right? Because for one thing, like we said, this is prophesied in the Bible, and this was a couple of screenshots that was sent through the text message. I'm assuming this is Twitter, but it says Ukraine has begun to construct trenches / fortifications in Kherson Oblast. All right, so mines, etc. This is just part of the things that they're engaging in. Some of the weaponry, at least. You see. Also here, the U.S. Strategic Command, it says posture statement. It says the spectrum of conflict today is neither linear nor predictable. I mean, Esau, man, it says we must account for the possibility of a conflict leading to conditions which could very rapidly drive an adversity to consider nuclear use as the least bad option. Meaning that this shit gonna go global. This shit is gonna go nuclear. They know that. You know, it says additional forces have arrived, bringing the total size of the Russian troops near the Ukraine border up to 103,200. Slovakia have 103,200 soldiers. This is a warning. What the fuck? So right there shows you that we're on the brink of war, man. And anybody that don't see that, Spirit just not dealing with them, man. All right. So this is the book of Isaiah 13, and I'm gonna start at verses 2. It says, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. All right. The banner is the scriptures. The nobles are the elites. And this is the reason why our YouTubes are getting jacked up, because we're doing just this. And it says shake the hand. So we see brothers out there pointing the finger. That's what the prophets did. And it says here, and I've commanded my sanctified ones, and I've also called my mighty ones for my anger. It says, even them that rejoice in my idleness, and going into those Russians, man. You see, it says the noise of a multitude is on the mountains, like the age of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. And the Yahweh of hosts mustered the host of the battle. So you have to think about it like, okay, why are they speaking of war if this is not going into a time of war and devastation? Okay, because one thing, war, at the end of the day, war brings peace, man. It brings a utopia, so to speak, because look at what happened when King David fought all the wars of the strongholds of the Philistines, and then Solomon had 40 years of peace. All right, because David fought all the battles, he made sure that Solomon didn't have to lift a finger for war. Though Solomon was a warrior because he was Yahushua, but nonetheless, David knocked down all the garrisons and the strongholds of the Philistines and the revolving nations, even the Edomites. All right. So this Third World War is going to be the end of all wars, followed by a forever utopia of peace for the Israelites, which is the so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American, predominantly. Okay. And it says, and they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. What are the weapons of the Lord's indignation? And we're reading about it. These ICBMs, man. All right. It says here, if you don't have intercontinental ballistic missiles, we can't meet the criteria. So damn, you can't have shit less than nukes, man. Because they know that World War III is going to be fought with nuclear. Why do you think the Most High created the sciences? And we're going to get that precept. The Most High, he created that. Didn't the scripture say that the Most High is a man of war? The Lord is his name. Yahweh is his name. So he's putting it on these nations' minds and on their spirits, all right, or their minds, their hearts, to go to war. Why? Because this is the purpose. That's Lord Cole, man. He's the ultimate puppet master, remember? It says, if you don't have intercontinental ballistic missiles, we can't meet that criteria. But it says, the Admiral said, adding, you are completely dependent on a submarine leg. And I've already told you, the Secretary of Defense, that under those conditions, I will request to re-alert the bombers. So they have to step up their weaponry, man. They have to, and they really need to step up their defense systems, because America's whole strategic on winning wars, okay, that's what they call the eagle, okay? They have the hell was that? Oh, they have the most advanced military. Thought I saw something. Basically, they have the most advanced military as far as what do you call it? The Air Force, okay, the Eagle. You see, but they're strictly offense. They're not defense by far. Russia is more defensive and more balanced. You see. Anyway, it says Richard stressed Tuesday. It says without funding the programs like the GBSD, the research and development of which is expected to cost more than $85 billion, with the total life cycle cost in the hundreds of billions. It says the U.S. runs the risk of ICBMs eventually not working at all. But he said he simply cannot deter the leftovers of the Cold War. So as I stated, they're going to have to up the game, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, then, I mean, they are going to, I mean, ain't no doubt about it. They're going to be destroyed. America's going to be destroyed no matter how you cut it. Point blank, period. But anyway, going back to the scriptures, It's a lot. I'm kind of all over the place because I was getting a little excited. But anyway, let's read verse 5 again. It says, they come from a far country, from the ends of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land, America. It says, so howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand, and it should come as a destruction from the Almighty. It says, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. Right, because of this tension of these wars that's coming. Like, I mean, to the point, we've never seen a nuclear war. I mean, the movies only do it justice, but we've never experienced it. But the average person with a brain would know that nuclear war will be the all be all to all humanity. But the good thing of it is that the Most High is going to preserve the elect. And people say, well, ain't that going to destroy the whole earth? Well, Yahweh Shah is going to come and intervene so that doesn't happen. But if he didn't come, yes, this war will kill all life on the planet Earth, and it's going to take a good deal of life. That war is going to possibly, and I'm just speaking according to the scriptures, it said to slay the fourth part of men, a third part of men, and the fourth parts of the earth, which goes into Esau's portion. But it says here, and they should be afraid, and pains and sorrow should take hold of them, and they should be in pain as a woman that travaileth, and they should be amazed at one another. Their faces should be as flames, because people gonna be running around getting their ass ignited when the missiles hit, man. That's second death you don't want no part of. That's why it says putting the strategic bombers back on alert, meaning loaded and ready for the immediate nuclear strike should the order come, will be to return to practices that were common decades ago during the Cold War. That's war, man. They already know what time it is. So this is the book of Jeremiah 50, and I'm gonna start at verses let's start at 23. Matter of fact, let's start at 22. It says here, a sound of battle is in the land of great destruction. Okay, that's talking about this war. It says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? That's America. It says, how is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? It says, I've laid a snare for thee, and thou was also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware, and thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. And how are they striving against the Most High? Doing enslaving the Hebrew Israelites, man. All right, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, even the Irish, some of them, even some of the Brits, the Scots, the Sicilians, those were Jakes. They all were slaves at one point in time or another. You see? That's how they're striven against the Most High, because they're fighting against the Holy Ones, which is us. And it says here, for this is the work. No, it says here, the Lord hath opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. That's the nuclear missiles. It says, for this is the work of the Lord Yahweh, and of hosts, and in the land of the Chaldeans. Okay, so the Chaldeans are your modern day elites, your sorcerers. It says here, come against her from the utmost borders, open our storehouse, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly, and let nothing be left of her. Okay, that's talking about when his missiles are shot on this place. Now I'm going to jump down. 27, it says, slay all our bullocks, let them go down to the slaughter. It says, woe unto them, for their day is come, and their visitation, right? Because you got to understand that the scriptures refer to other nations as beasts and stuff too. All right, so what is a bullock? Let's look it up. Just get some understanding here. All right. Hebrew word pa'ar. A young bull, a steer, a bullock. It's a beast. All right. Referring to other nations as well, mainly the Edomites. It says, the voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our power, the vengeance of his temple. That's us. We're the vengeance of his temple. Okay, because we're his temple, and the men of the Lord are going to get spiritual power. But the vengeance, meaning this nuclear war that he's going to bring upon these nations. It says, it called together the archers against Babylon. And it says, and all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about, and let none thereof escape. Meaning that if you on the shores of America when those missiles are shot, you're going to be destroyed. No ifs, ands, or buts. It says, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about, and let none of the escape, and recompense her according to her works, and according to all that she have done, do unto her. for she has been proud against Yahweh, against the Holy One of Israel. So therefore shall our young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war should be cut off in that day, says Yahweh. So there you go, man. This man is done. Ain't no coming back from it. So it says here, in 2017, Defense One reported the Air Force was preparing to put the nuclear bombers back on 24 hours alert. That change, however, was never actually made. Matter of fact, man, I got one more precept, then I'm going to shut it down. But yeah, this man is done, man. He ain't even equipped for this battle. And yeah, he's going to be completely outnumbered. That's why it says here, the book of Joel 2:1, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain, and let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. For the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand, all right? Going into the war of Armageddon, a day of darkness and of gloominess, and a day of clouds and thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people and a strong, that have not been the ever like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Meaning that this war is never going to come again, meaning that after this particular World War III, the war of Armageddon, once this place is destroyed and the kingdom is established, that'll never happen again, because those weapons are going to be taken and burnt. It says, a fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burneth, and the land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing should escape them, right? Because they really think that they're going to set up the new world order. You see, because after the nuclear destruction, they believe that they're going to come under those bunkers and they're going to repopulate, setting up the NWO, and it's not going to happen. All right, the only NWO is going to be set up is of Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai. Okay, and it says here, and the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. And that's talking about the nuclear missiles. It says, like it's the noise of chariots, and on the top of mountains shall they leap, like a noise of a flame and a fire that devoured the stubble, as a strong people set in array for battle. Because these missiles, the scriptures say they should not break their ranks. Okay, it says here, it says, and as a strong people set in battle array, before their face of the people should be much pained, and all faces should gather blackness, meaning they're going to be shocked. It says, and they should run like mighty men, they should climb the wall like men of war, and they should march everyone on his ways, and neither should they break their ranks, neither should one thrust another, and they should walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they should not be wounded. The sword is going into Esau Edom, because the scriptures refer to him as having a great sword. So they're going to fall upon this society, which is Esau's power tactic, his weapon, and the missiles are going to do what they're going to do. And when it says they should be over the walls, should march everyone his ways. Also, when it says leap over the, matter of fact, it says, going back down, let me not stumble it. They should climb the wall like men of war. That's talking about the defense systems. You see what I'm saying? Like you have something which is called a shield wall, okay, or wall of defense. Usually when they shoot something, you have what they call, they can shoot out the flares to interject the incoming ICBM. But in this case, their grid systems are going to totally shut down, because the Most High going to use the angels to jam them, you know. So anyway, through the Spirit, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai. And with that, Shalom and the Abba.